everybody. We are back on the couch. Episode 2. Who knew? I guess first things first, thank you guys for the response to the first one last week. That felt really good. It was cool. People received it the way I was hoping they would receive it. And, sometimes that's all you can ask for. But I really appreciated all the messages and all the support. All the people that hit me up on PayPal and Venmo. That was really sweet. And it felt really good to put something out and have people like it. I come from punk rock, which is why I look like this. And for the longest time, I was obsessed with this idea of like, doesn't matter if people like it, man. And I think there's a lot of value in thinking that way when you're making something, that it shouldn't matter. But I think it's okay to put something out, and I hope it's okay to put something out and be happy that people like it. I said something the other day. I think if you're happy at all these days, you should hold on to that as long as you can. These are tough times, and it's okay to be happy or have little moments of relief or hilarity or whatever in the midst of all this. It doesn't invalidate the other feelings, and it doesn't take any of the heat off of what's happening in any way other than the way that it should, which is to give you a break. We could all use a break sometimes. So doing this is a bit of a break for me from the everyday, and I appreciate you guys coming along and listening and watching. Let's have some coffee. Today, we're drinking out of the Folsom Prison Brew mug. That's a pun. That's very hot coffee. My wife got me that mug at the Johnny Cash Museum year before last, I think. The years have gotten long, Year before last, we met my dad and my stepmom in Nashville for Thanksgiving. I love them both a ton. It's always really great to see them. It's rare these days. They live in Australia. So they came back to the States, and we decided to meet somewhere fun, and we met in Nashville and had Thanksgiving at an Airbnb and got to see a bunch of stuff. Nashville's a trip. It was my first time there. I guess I present as someone who desperately is trying to get to Nashville, but I'm cool. All those scooters everywhere, man. I don't know how people live. All those scooters. I have a very funny story about an Uber driver almost getting in a fight with another driver. That scared the heck out of us. But it was a good time, and the Johnny Cash Museum was everything I hoped it would be. It was phenomenal. It was really is one of the few like touristy things that I think really kind of met my hopes for it, and I would highly recommend it. Plus, you can get a dope Folsom Prison Brew mug. I think more dishes should have puns on them. Puns are underrated. So today I thought, since I have your attention, which is rare to get people's attention for 15 whole minutes, I thought I would talk about something that's come up a few times for me personally. I do this thing where I make stuff. I make CDs, and I make t-shirts, and I make koozies and books and podcasts, and I just make stuff, and then I put it out in the world, and I tell people to just pay what they want or pay what they can. And that might not work for everybody. I don't want to give anybody advice about anything ever, except to listen to Tom Petty. But it works for me. I've never been let down by an interaction I've had under the pay what you want, pay what you can model. Sometimes I'm blown away by what people think my stuff is worth on the higher end. People can be really, really generous. And then other times I'm blown away by just the opportunity to let people have something if they can't afford it. That feels really good. And the system just works, man. It just balances out. Some people pay $20 for a CD. Some people take one for free. Most people pay 10. You know, I've had people trade me stuff. They give me drawings. They give me tea bags. They give me all kinds of stuff. And that's been really great. And some people, I have interactions with some people that are bothered for whatever reason by the fact that I do that. I'm not sure why. I'm not suggesting that they should do it too. I'm just saying it works for me. It works really, really well for me. And it removes an element of this job that I find the most distasteful, which is the selling of yourself and of your art. And it keeps me connected to... I wrote my first song when I was 10 years old. It was an a cappella song that I sang into a boombox. And I said the words, "This is where the guitar solo goes." And it was an exact ripoff of a John Cougar Mellencamp song. And it was about women and cars. Two things that I knew nothing about then and sometimes feel like I know less about now. Cars are complicated. But I never thought about selling that song to anybody. And then as time went on and I got into punk rock, I never thought about even the possibility of making a living doing this or selling these songs to people, or that we would even have t-shirts or anything like that. And now I've gotten to this wonderful place where, you know, when the world's not draped in bacteria and viruses, I get to play like 150 shows a year in a lot of different places with a lot of different people for a lot of different people. And all of a sudden I was expected to market things and sell things and decide that this song that I had to live almost 40 years to write is worth $1, you know, or that this song that connected with somebody doesn't belong to them unless they pay for it. And without ever telling anybody else what to do or how to run their gig, you know, that didn't work for me. I didn't like any of it. So I adopted this pay what you want, pay what you can model. A few other musicians that I follow have done it, and it was working for them, and it works for me. And I've had friends go on tours and then come back and say, like, we did the pay what you want thing and we made more at the merch table than we ever have before. So if nothing else, it gives you a nice break from the commerce aspect of it. And it gives you nightly reminders that, like, people value music and art and are willing to pay for it. It's just, you know, everyone's in a different place. And I don't want your temporary circumstances to affect whether or not you can get your hands on my new record. And also, it's all free anyways. It's all on LimeWire, right? LimeWire or Spotify or whatever. So yeah, that's why my stuff is usually just, you know, I usually have like a rough estimate, like, we try to get $10 for a CD. But if you want to pay $5, if you want to pay $500, you know, no one ever has. You'd be the first. You know, it's fine. And it keeps things right where I want them to be, which is focused on the connection and on the art itself. My dog is banging into stuff. How you doing? He's got a cone on his head. He was at the vet for something that I won't trouble you with because it's kind of gross. But now he's got a cone on his head. The good news is we get all the pay channels now. That's a satellite joke. All right, let's do a song. Should we do a song? Let's do a song. This song is called Dogs. I put out an EP like a month or two ago called Midnight Crow. And it's called Midnight Crow because I was mixing it and my son was sitting next to me. We live in a very small house, so he's always sitting next to me. I said, man, what should this EP be called? And immediately he said, Midnight Crow. And I said, why? And he said, because when a bird flies at night, it's just doing it because it likes to fly. It's not doing it to be seen by a bunch of people. And I said, okay. And he said, well, that's why you play music, because it's just what you do. And I really liked that. And it's true a lot of the time. Other times it's kind of aspirational. I wish I cared less. But, and then he said, and I have a picture for it. And I said, oh. And he took me in his bedroom, and there's this picture he took of a bird flying overhead. So if you check out the record on Spotify or LimeWire or Kazaa or Bandcamp is the best one for me personally. You'll see the album cover that is a picture he shot, and it's called Midnight Crow. And part of me really liked that cover, and a part of me liked that title. But the biggest thing was I liked the idea that he had an idea and I could make it real. I think it's really encouraging for people to be able to take their ideas and manifest them, you know? So my son had an idea that it should be called this, and now he gets a trip out of it that you can go on like Amazon, and his album cover's up there. So the EP is called Midnight Crow. This song's called Dogs. I wrote it just after John Prine passed. So it's sort of, in my mind, kind of very Prine influenced. I don't know how much it sounds like a John Prine song, but the connection is there in my head. And I was laying in bed one night. It was very late, and I was starting to fall asleep, and I was like half asleep, and my eyes just opened, and I had the whole verse and the whole melody. And I got up and wrote it down and went back to bed and finished it the next day. And it's about this kind of trait that I see more and more of people being in a hurry to tell you everything that's wrong. And there's plenty wrong. You know, I don't think you'd have to be blind or foolish to say that the world's not hurting right now, and that some real necessary friction is taking place, and hopefully that will lead to some healing and some progress. But I also feel like, you know, sometimes people will tell me a musician that I like died, and they'll do it as though they won some kind of race. Like, I was the first one to tell him that Tom Petty died. It's like, I don't know why you'd want to do that. So it's a little bit about that, and it's just a little bit about, in the midst of all the bad news, what is permanent and what is consistent, and how much better will your life get if your life is about those things instead of the, you know, not the real actionable bad news, but just the kind of day-to-day, you know, just crappy news that people love to share. So this is called Dogs, and it goes like this. They all go like this. Everyone's in a hurry to deliver that bad news. Same as ever, same as always, the same things are always true. But a sky that could fall was never much of a sky at all. And there ain't nothing real that could ever be undone. So never mind those dogs in the alley, he's howling at the rain just like the storm. Don't hear their crying, it rolls in all the same. Mind that slow train coming, you best believe that it knows your name. Bring no bags to the station, don't ask for any change. Now it feels like a lifetime under the weather and overwhelmed. Your rope ain't never long enough to reach the bottom of the well. But there are rivers all around you, and you could take a drink with your bare hands. When life invites you to dance, don't turn your back to the band. And never mind those dogs in the alley, just howling at the rain just like the storm. Don't hear their crying, it rolls in all the same. But mind that slow train coming, you best believe that it knows your name. Don't bring no bags to the station, don't ask for any change. Just never mind those dogs in the alley, just howling at the rain, just like the storm. Don't hear their crying. It rolls in all the same. Mind that slow train coming. You best believe that it knows your name. Don't bring no bags to the station. Don't ask for any change. All right, there's a song. Thank you guys for coming back. If you did come back, I appreciate it. I'll keep doing it if you guys keep enjoying it. And feels good right now. If you guys have anything that you want this to be about, I think it's pretty clear. I don't have an idea. But if you have something you want to talk about, one of the things I miss the most about solo shows and house shows in particular is how conversational they were. I would show up without a set list or anything, and I would just play a song, and then I would say, how's everybody doing? Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Or people would ask questions about songwriting or politics or God or tattoos or Tom Petty or whatever, you know. We talk about guitars. So if you guys have any questions or comments or something you want to talk about, let me know. You can email me at christopher@christophergold.com, or you can comment. People point, right? They say comment below as though they are literally in YouTube. Ugh. I'm pointing right now at my bare feet. Comment below if there's something you guys want to talk about. I feel like the 15-minute thing works. It keeps it short so people can hopefully take in the whole thing. And I see I'm running over that right now. And the UPS man's here, so my dog's probably going to start barking. Music recommendations. Quarantine edition. Dave Simonette, the singer for Trampled by Turtles, put out a wonderful record called Red Tail right at the beginning of all this. And you should buy it. You should buy a physical copy. If you do buy a physical copy, it'll look just like this. Delightful. It's a wonderful record. It's like, it's folky, but at the same time, it has all this wonderful atmosphere and kind of ethereal, almost shoegazy guitar and piano and that kind of thing. And then the other guy who I discovered during quarantine, he's right here. His name's David Ramirez. He lives in Austin, and he's tremendous. He's got a couple records. I have them all. I'm very happy about it. Ta-da. He's just a great songwriter, and he'll make you feel feelings for sure. He's got a song called Harder to Lie that's really good, and a song called Watching from a Distance. So check those out. There's a podcast called The Hilarious World of Depression that I listen to a lot. It's mostly comedians and a lot of musicians talking about being creative and even being funny when you have depression and anxiety and that kind of thing. And highly recommend it. Listening to the episode with Daryl from Run DMC right now, and it's so fun to listen to him talk. He has so much just like command, you know, and it's great. I love it. So yeah, that's episode 2. Possibly the last one ever. We'll see. It's like that old Princess Bride joke. By the way, you should watch Princess Bride again because it's hilarious. But if you have the opportunity, you should watch Princess Bride with an 11-year-old boy. Because it's like a weird, like kind of performance art. We watched it with Oliver the other day, and he loved it, and he thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was hilarious. But he said all the Fred Savage lines right before Fred Savage said them. Kissing. So it became this weird kind of performance art thing that he was doing. And I loved it. I love you guys too. So let me know what you think. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way I can have my own URL kind of thing. That's important, I guess. And then you get notified when I do another one of these. If you like what you see or hear, I mean, not see, obviously, but if you like what you hear, you can hit me up on PayPal. It's Christopher@ChristopherGold.com or Venmo @ChristopherGoldMusic. Or you could just buy David Ramirez records, and that would work for me too. He's great, as is Dave Simonette. Hey, we did 2 Daves. I didn't even notice that. It's a theme. come back next week. We'll talk about stuff. The book's going to come out next week, and it'll be great. In the meantime, be good. Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else. And like I said in the song, when life invites you to dance, don't turn your back on the band. It's going to be okay. I'll see you soon. Bye.